Louise here today for lawnfawn and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a Christmas card to share with you all. I'm going to be using the Peas on Earth stamp set. I think this one is super cute with the 3 little peas and they're caroling, which is adorable. I'm also going to be using the Snow Globe scene stamp set as well, just for the little tree. And I'm also going to be using the Magic Iris Snow Globe add-on set. So this one goes with the Magic Iris die, but I'm actually just going to be using it as a snow globe today, and I think it's going to turn out super fun. So now that I have all of my supplies chosen for this card, I'm going to start with stamping out my images. So I'm going to be using the tree from the Snow Globe Scene stamp set, as well as the 3 peas and the lamppost and a couple of the speech bubbles as well from Peas on Earth, and I'm going to be stamping them down just onto some white cardstock. I'm using jet black ink and I'm going to be stamping those down, and I'm going to stamp them quite a few times using my MISTI tool just to make sure that I really get a good and dark impression. Once I've gone ahead and stamped out a few of them, I'm also going to go through and stamp out one more lamppost and one more speech bubble as well, just because I wanted a couple more of those. Once all of my images are stamped, I can go ahead and colour them in with Copic markers. I'm using some greens, the same greens for the tree and the peas. I'm using YG17, YG23, YG03 and YG01. For those, I just really like this limey sort of green. I just think it works perfectly for the peas, and I was just trying to keep it very simple and minimal, which is why I'm using the exact same greens for all of them. Once I've coloured all those in, I'm going to move on to some pinks. So I'm colouring in a hat and a few of the baubles on the tree, as well as the earmuffs with this hot pink colour. I'm using RV19, RV17, RV14 and RV11. I'm just going to blend them all together. The RV11 is a little bit hard to blend with the RV14, but it was okay in the end. I'm using some teals, so I'm using BG49, BG13, BG23, and BG10 for those. And then I'm going to move on to some oranges. So I really love this pink, teal, and orange combo. So I'm using YR18, YR16, YR12, and YR20. And I'm just colouring in the rest of the pieces with this, so the last book and the last of the baubles on the tree as well. And then for the star and the inside of the lamppost, I'm using some yellows, using Y18, Y15, Y13, and Y11 for those. And then I just used a little bit of brown for the tree stump, and also some light greys and light blues for the snow and the white pieces on the hats as well. I went ahead and stamped the faces on the peas, and then I'm using a white gel pen and just adding a few little white details onto each of the images. Not doing a lot, but just a few, because I feel like it really brings those images to life. Now that all of my images are finished being coloured in and they're also cut out, I'm going to die cut some of the other elements I need for this project. So I have some watercolour cardstock here and the main snow globe die, and I'm just going to be cutting this out of the white watercolour cardstock, and that's just because I like blending on this cardstock the best, and I really wanted to ink blend some blue on the top section. It doesn't matter if the blue got to the bottom section though, as it's going to be covered a little bit later by other cardstocks. So I'm using tumbled glass and broken china distress ink for this, as well as some blending brushes. And I'm just going with a very light hand just around the very corners or edges rather, to get a little bit of a blue glow on there. And then I decided that I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so that's where I brought in a little bit of broken china, just to darken up the edges a little bit more. Then for the bottom half of the snow globe, I used some woodgrain cardstock in the light brown and the dark brown, and just cut out the additional pieces out of those and adhered them onto the bottom of the globe with some foam tape. Then I decided to turn the snow globe into a shaker, so I just went ahead and added some acetate to cover the circle out of the middle, and then I doubled up my foam tape and added it all along the back side of the shaker. See here, I also added in those little white pieces for the shine marks on the snow globe. I then have a piece of blue Jay Cardstock that I just cut to fit behind the little shaker portion. And then I just have this circle piece that was cut out from the snow globe. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace around this with my pencil. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to line up the tree that I had cut out previously and adhere that down into place using some glue tube adhesive. And then I'm going to use some chunky glitter with a spoon, and I'm just going to add it into the center of that piece, brushing away any of the excess, and I'm going to remove the foam tape and adhere the snow globe directly over top. Now that my shaker snow globe is all complete, it's time to arrange my scene on the front. So I'm just using a little bit of glue tube adhesive and adhering these lampposts down to either side. I'm then going to add foam tape onto the backs of the peas and have them all in the center like they're caroling. I just thought that would be super cute. Then once the peas are added in the center, I'm going to add the speech bubbles just directly around them. I did 3 of them because there were 3 carolers, and I just thought that would be super adorable. And there is the scene all completed. I just really like the way it looks. It looks very adorable. For the sentiment, I decided to use this little plate piece that came in the snow globe set. I just went ahead and cut that out of some black cardstock. And then I'm just going to go ahead and white heat emboss over that. I used the Joy to You sentiment from the snow globe scene stamp set. It just fit in there perfectly. And yeah, I really like it. It's small and simple. And so I'm just using some white embossing powder, and I'm just going to heat that up off camera. And then once I've gone ahead and done that, because it's actually got holes in either side, I thought it would be fun to thread through some twine. So I just have some natural twine here, and I'm just threading it through, and I've just adhered onto the back. And then that's the main focal point piece all completed. Now I just have this Let It Shine 6x6 paper pad, and I've just picked out 2 colors of the striped paper. I've kept the cream piece whole and the red piece, and I've just cut it diagonally. And now I'm using some lawnfawn tape adhesive, and I'm going to tape this red stripe down over the cream colored stripe just for a 2-toned effect. I just thought that would be super nice and fun and different, and it just brings in more of those colors that I kind of used on the card. So now that I've just gone ahead and taped them together, it's time to assemble the rest of my card, which is just adding foam tape and a little bit more tape onto the back of this snow globe and adhering it down to the bottom half of the card. I then just went ahead and placed this entire piece onto a card base, and that finishes up my card for today. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed. It's a very simple and easy way to create a Christmas card. I loved adding the glitter shaker into the inside of the snow globe. I just think that's really fun and makes it a little bit more realistic. All of the supplies that I used today on this card will be listed below and over at the blog, and I hope to catch you all next time. Thanks so much for stopping by today.